Alright, in this video we're going to take a look at some of the channels over on gunchannels.com. Gunchannels.com is a community that we built 5 years ago. It's focused on firearms. It's open to anyone who wants to have a civil conversation about firearms. And of course we cater to Second Amendment content creators, people that are interested in collaborating and networking with others who create content, ideally to work together to share our resources and our skills to get a better and more consistent two-way message out to the world. Share our projects with the help of others. So to that end, we built Gun Channels as a platform with a couple of things in mind. First, we wanted to make it channel-centric or project-centric. Whether you have a gun shop or a product that you create, a product that you help distribute, you might have a service, or just a project, something that you're interested in, an area of interest, a type of firearm, a type of shooting or collecting, anything really that would bring people together, or you could use some tools to help get that message out. We create channels on our website for you to do that. We also have things like news and current events and videos and pictures and of course everything else, but channels is really what we focus on. That's why we call it gunchannels.com. And in this video we're going to take a look at some of the more popular channels that get viewed a lot over on Gun Channels. So when you are logged into Gun Channels as a member, you'll see a list of channels over here on the left. Again, that's what we're all about. This list rotates and it's random, so you'll maybe see things over here that you're not familiar with, and that's really the point. We have the list long enough that whatever it is you might be looking for might pop up there, so you don't have to look too hard, but again, not so long that it takes up everything on the screen. So as you navigate down, you might find a channel here that perks your interest. A lot of these are live shows that have a consistent live presence on the internet, and they share it over here on Gun Channels. Sometimes if it's a once-a-week show or more or less often, by going to their channel you can see the last show that they offered, and maybe even a video that's about to go live or is live right then. So there's usually something to see at each of these channels, whether it be recorded, live, or about to go live. There's a text chat on each channel, and you can chat with other people who might be there in real time. And you'll see another number there, and that's the number of views. And we leave that there for a reason, because just like any other platform or any other effort that you might pursue, it's nice to be able to compare your results with others and to have some idea of what other audiences are checking out and what other content creators, how successful some other content creators have been with their audiences. So we leave the number of views there, and that's not a fancy number, it's just how many times people have gone to those channels. So if you're interested in getting a more consistent or easy to deal with view of how many views the channels have, we can go up to the top here and click on channels. That's going to open up a website with what they call a pinboard view, where you're going to see kind of a quick view with the image and some statistics of each of the channels. Now you can search here, but we have another place where you can sort them, and that's if we go to Channels Home. So this is the home page for the channels, and up here we can browse by, how about, most viewed, and now that'll give us in order that they've been viewed most. So what I'll do to, we can see everything here. So our most viewed channel is the lobby. That's a channel that no longer exists, but for a long time that was the main place to find a live conversation, and then that's where people would announce their specific shows. We no longer have a lobby, but we do have a few hosts that run lobby-like shows, and Mr. Knives is one of those. So pretty much every single day Mr. Knives goes onto his computer and logs in and creates an open room, and then embeds that room here on Gun Channels. And so far 188,000 people have jumped over to participate in that live conversation that Knives keeps going. Next up would be the Daily Gun Show, and we cheat because we do our podcast every single weekday, so, and even some extras. So we're up to 116,000 views. Thank you very much. We also put a lot of effort into bringing people over to gun channels for obvious reasons. It's our platform, and we're proud of it. The next most popular show is Early Watch, or was Early Watch. Unfortunately, Jimmy and Tony are no longer doing that show on a regular basis. Hopefully they'll come back to it one day. The channel is still here for them. And they were at 93,000 views. So for a long time, Jimmy was doing an early morning show with Tony from Illinois. And that was an awesome time for gun channels. We were 24/7 at that point, having live conversations. If anyone's interested in bringing that back and getting a live show happening during the day, please feel free. We'll give you all the support and encouragement we can. Next up is Matt over at Never Enough Ammo, and I can't see the number there, but we know it's somewhere between 90,000 and 53. For some reason I want to say it's 70 something thousand. Let's see if we can't hit refresh here and kind of cheat by seeing it on the front page. I'm not going to waste all day. So we know it's somewhere between 50,000 and 90. And Matt, of course, does multiple shows, and he posts most of his live events over on gun channels. We really do appreciate that. He's been an advocate, and he helped create the site, so it's great to see that he's still participating. Next would be the I Hate Guns podcast, which is the precursor to the Daily Gun Show. I own the name IHateGuns.com, so I made a podcast called I Hate Guns. The idea was so that if someone typed in I Hate Guns, they might see our podcast and decide to listen, and maybe we could change their mind. But it was a little bit far-fetched, so we left that one go and called it the Daily Gun Show going forward. And we're 700 episodes in on the Daily Gun Show. I think we had a couple of hundred episodes over on I Hate Guns, and we had 50,000 views, so we really do appreciate the people that listened back then. Next up is We Like Shooting. They no longer post their stuff here on gun channels, but they did for quite a while, and they had somewhere between 40 and 50,000 views in that time. And for a long time, the gun channels was their chat platform, so we're glad to be able to have been a rung in their ladder to success, and we wish them all the best. Unfortunately, they took their chat over to their own website, which is fine, and no longer use the features that we have here for them on gun channels. Next up is the live show schedule. So if you click on any page on gun channels, you'll have a link to the live schedule up there, and it looks like people have clicked on that about 41,000 times. Yankee Marshal, another large channel that helped create gun channels in 2013. Doesn't always post his show. Sometimes viewers will post them. Some of the admins on gun channels will post his show for him. But Yankee sends people over, but he doesn't really check the comments too much on gun channels, so his channel is sitting somewhere between 40,000 and 19,000. So looks like it's could easily be larger than Yankee here on gun channels if you bring your audiences over and do your chats here. Next up is Hit or Miss, the Tuesday night show. Night Strike is running that one, and kind of a panel discussion's been going on for years. And maybe he doesn't do as much chatting over on gun channels, but people probably use it to find his show or his YouTube link. But up to almost 20,000 views. That's pretty cool. Next up is Edge from San Antonio. He no longer does his live show, but for many years he did here on Fridays, and he brought people over to gun channels, and 17,000 people used his channel to find his show. Every Second Matters, a collaborative effort, an awareness campaign. Every second of the month we do a show or try to post whoever goes live here on gun channels to echo the conversation or echo the conversation. Let's see, it's somewhere between 12 and 17,000 views for Every Second Matters. Then we've got Gun News Weekly. I think this was Tac Daddy's show when he was posting it here on gun channels. He no longer does. We have our AK-47 podcast. I do that one whenever it's possible. I don't always have time, so it's only down to 13,000 views. Hawaii Volcano Squad, another member from gun channels from out in Hawaii. He does a show on Mondays and probably does most of his commenting over on the YouTube side. But I'm sure a lot of people over the years have used his link to find his YouTube video, so We thank him for those 12,000 views that he brought over to Gun Channels. Next up is CloverTac, who's only been at it 1 year, but he's had a phenomenal year. He's up to 10,000, almost 11,000 views, really. And you know, Clover definitely watches the Gun Channel side, and looking forward to watching him blow right past a lot of these channels that aren't even here anymore, and some of our podcasts that we don't do anymore, and get up into these larger numbers. Angelina from Owl and Anchor does evening chats, and her number's up to 10,000 almost. We've got a channel that's nobody really runs. It's just it was created, I think, by DB Cooper or somebody, and it's just for hot deals. So this time of year when people are finding interesting coupons or codes or anything, links, we'll post them here at hot deals so people can find them. That's been viewed 9,000 times, 8,000 times. Heavy B, a Marine from California, now in Phoenix, did a chat for a while. He had a lot of people using Gun Channels, which was awesome. Up to 8,000 views in the short time he was using Gun Channels. That's awesome. Dead Horse up in Salt Lake City has 7,500 views. He's just been doing a late night show and posting it for maybe last year or so. Andalusia Armory is a gun shop in Louisiana, and they would close up early on Tuesdays and go live for more than a year, and they brought a lot of people over to Gun Channels in that time. Over 7,000 views. That's awesome. Rick is newly located from Rhode Island over to Indiana, and does a live show on Saturdays as well as Wednesdays, and has brought 7,000 people over to Gun Channels to watch his show and find his links. That's awesome. Thanks, Rick. We got our gun show Loophole Tour. We got Sandhills Shooter, another one of the new people that's been creating content on a fairly regular basis, and is already up to over 6,000 views on his channel. It's awesome. A lot of these people use their channels to focus their efforts online, and because of that their views can get a lot of hits, or their channels can get a lot of views, a lot of hits. There's a channel for training which looks like it's had 6,000 views. We've got the Gun Channels University. It's where we used to put up tutorials and workshops, hold workshops over there. We now kind of turned that into Minuteman University, so this channel no longer gets used, but we had 6,000 views over there. The Ghost Squad is Ghost Tactical, I guess, and I'm not sure why his numbers are down to 6,000. He might be doing most of his stuff over on YouTube, so he doesn't bring people over to the Gun Channels for his chats. But obviously Ghost does, well, maybe it's because he only does the one chat per week. That could be it too. For the most part, Ghost is on other people's chats, but he's only really bringing people to Gun Channels one day of the week, so I shouldn't scold him. That's probably pretty decent effort considering he's only bringing people in the one day of the week. Then we got Sleazy, that's Gavin's channel. We built for him so that he could do live chats. Him and some of the other guys play video games in the evenings and on weekends. We got Travis, and I'm not sure why his channel's so low either. Again, he only brings people in once a week, but 4,700. I was surprised. I would have thought his would be one of the larger. He's definitely an advocate for Gun Channels, so we appreciate his consistent Saturday morning show. It's awesome to have a Saturday show, and even better to have such a well-produced one. Thanks again, Travis, and I'm surprised your number's so low. We should probably look into that, make sure there's not some glitch in the matrix there. We got Rick, Big Gunner, formerly out of Illinois. I think now he's in North Carolina. He's been doing a live show more regularly in the past, but intermittently recently, and we appreciate him posting his shows over on Gun Channels. He's got quite a few projects going on, which are awesome to follow. We got Stone Guy, no longer does videos, but he was doing after chats. He would do chats in the late nights after the other formatted shows, or the other shows that kept consistent time slots, and Stone Guy was a heck of a guy. He's surely missed. Dano did a show on Sundays for a while with Thin Blue Line, and then later by himself, and he brought in over 4,000 views in that short time. It seemed like a short time. Maybe it was a few months, or maybe closer to a year. That was a while ago. So if you want Dano to start doing his own show again, you might as well go over and bug him about it. Liberty Watch Radio is a Sunday morning show that here in Tucson that I used to broadcast on my YouTube channel and posted over here on Gun Channels. family reasons and stuff, I couldn't do that anymore, but it was a fun project, and anyone's welcome to do it. Yoder, Texas, posts a show out of Texas, similar, but he doesn't do it on his own channel for some reason. Well, we got Midnight, the new open-faced hot dog sandwich advocate out of Pennsylvania, who almost has 4,000 views. He does most of his chats on the YouTube side, so maybe one day he'll focus his chats over to the gun channel side. We'll see those numbers grow. We have a channel just for gun quotes, and it looks like that channel has had almost 4,000 views. I'm not sure anybody uses that anymore, but it probably got used more often in the past when people were using them to close out shows and things. We got Potatoes, who hosts he's another of the live nighttime hosts, and he's up to almost 4,000 views. Got Outlaw, up to almost, again, 4,000 views, 3,500 views with his shows that he hosts on a regular basis. And we got Smeggy, Pink, and that's about it as far as lobby hosts. So again, in the over 2,000 views, Pink probably would have a lot more than that. I'm not sure what's going on with Pink's number there. Maybe he used to just post them on the lobby or in Knives or something. And then we got another one from Travis. So we Budget Guns and Gear is here. The girls from Rock Your Rights, they did a show briefly, and some others. So if you ever want to compare, you can't do that on YouTube so easily, but over on gun channels we have a reasonable number of participants, and it is possible to see where you're at compared to some of the others as far as views go. So if you've stayed through this one, let us know what you think, and always curious to hear if you have any ideas for other ways to take a look at the ways people are participating here on gun channels. As always, thanks for watching.